Hey guys, it's me Nilesh Maruti. I'm back again for another video, and in today's video we're going to be covering the Guptas and the Pushya Buddhis. Now I've already done part 1 of this lesson, so that will be given in the link below. So let's get started with the video. Other campaigns and alliances. Chandragupta II is credited with many more successful military conquests which expanded the empire coast to coast. He defeated a confederacy of enemy chiefs in the Vanga. He crossed over river Sindhu in the northwest, decimated the Kushans, and conquered Bactria. Refer map military conquest by Gupta kings. Now the Gupta Empire extended from Malava, Gujarat and Kathiawar in the west, beyond the Hindu Kush up to Bactria, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan and Tajikistan in the northwest, Vanga, Bengal in the east, till river Narmada in the south. The Pallavas who ruled the southern lands maintained friendly relationships with the Guptas. Ujjaini became the second capital of the Gupta Empire. People of Ujjaini happily welcomed their Hindu king, celebrating the end of a miserable life under the hostile foreign rulers. Many neighboring kingdoms came forward to have marriage alliances with Chandragupta II and offered support in his military conquest. He was acclaimed as Vikramaditya, one of the greatest Gupta rulers. Now, this person here, Chandragupta II, is actually the, I think, grandson of Chandragupta the First. Yeah, I think he's the grandson of the first Gupta. He's a grandson of Chandragupta the First, and so he did a lot of successful conquests in which he expanded the empire coast to coast. That is, India is actually like a triangle, right? It's kind of like an inverted triangle. So he kind of like expanded the empire like this, coast to coast. It went from the Arabian Sea to the Bay of Bengal. So yeah, the river Sindhu in the northwest and the Kushans and conquered Bactria. So let me just take you back. Where is it? Here we are. Yeah. Now as you can see, this was the greatest extent of the Gupta Empire. Chandragupta the 2 is mentioned in dark blue, so here. Yeah, Bactria is nowadays in Pakistan, but they say Afghanistan, so yeah, who knows, they even went up top. Gujarat, Malava, to the west he focused. Samudragupta, his father, focused mainly on like the entirety of India, and Chandragupta the first routed the routed the people of, yeah, he routed a lot of people. Chandragupta routed a lot of people, so yeah. So many people wanted to be the friends of Vikramaditya, also known as Chandragupta II. They wanted to marry their Many kings offered their daughters to like marry the king, marry the courtiers of the king, and they also helped him in his military campaigns. Okay, so they called him Vikramaditya, the best Gupta rulers. Did you know? Samvat is an era celebrating a victory. Vikram Samvat is a special calendar that commemorates the victory of Chandragupta II over the Shaka. Even today, after many centuries, a large number of Hindus in northern Bharat observe this calendar. So a Samvat is what we call a victory celebrating era. So yeah, Vikramaditya, also known as Chandragupta II, started a calendar of his own, which he called the Vikram Samvat, that commemorates, celebrates his victory over the Shakas. So even today, a large number of Hindus in northern parts of Bharat still observe this calendar. If any of you or your families are observing this calendar, please let me know in the comments below. I would like to learn more about it. Patron of Science and Art. Patron of Science and Art. During the Gupta period, the advancements in intellectual and creative pursuits were matchless. Chandragupta II adorned his court with Navaratna, or 9 gems experts from various fields: poetry, science, astrology, medicine, architecture, wit and humor, and more. Kalidasa was the greatest poet and playwright from Indian history. His powerful characterization, construction of plot with dramatic situations, and brilliant use of similes and metaphors set him apart. Some of his works are Abhijana Shakuntalam, Meghaduta, Ritu Samara, Kumara Sambhava, etc. Varahamira was a brilliant mathematician, geologist, and astrologer of the Gupta times. Amarasima was the Sanskrit scholar and lexicographer. Oh. He authored the Amarakosha, a dictionary of Sanskrit roots, homonyms, and synonyms with 10,000 words. Davantari was a knowledgeable physician. Harisena was a royal poet who recorded the reign of Chandragupta II as Prayag Prasati or Allahabad pillar inscription. Chanakya was chief architect of Vikramaditya. Vetal Bhatta was a great illusionist and magician. Many more interesting and impressive artists and intellectuals were patronized by the emperor. So a patron of science and art means he kind of like promoted science and creative people. So yeah, his intellectual and creative pursuits were matchless. Nowhere in the world was there something of his level, on his level. So he had his court with 9 gems, that is 9 experts of various fields. Some of those fields are poetry, science, geology, medicine, architecture, wit, humor, and more. This might be important, so mark it down. And now these names are also important. So Kalidasa is a playwright and a poet. Varahamira was a mathematician and a geologist and an astrologer. Aram Sira was a scholar and a lexicographer. Now, a lexicographer is basically the person who writes dictionaries. Yes, that is a job. Dhanvantari was a doctor, medicine. Harisena is a poet. Poetry is up here. Shanku was the architect. I think architecture. Yeah, here. Varibata was a magician, wit and humor. So yeah, many things were here. Many other people were also there. Sanskrit flourished. Sanskrit flourished during the Gupta rule. It was declared that the state language as well as the language of the people. Magnificent works of literature such as drama, poetry, prose, and grammar evolved. Mahabharata and Ramayana gained prominence. Commentaries on Vedic literature were written during this period. So yeah, during the Gupta rule, Sanskrit was the main language. It was declared as the state language, or in other words, we call them the national language of those times. So yeah, and Mahabharata and the Ramayana became famous in this time. There were a lot of magnificent works such as a drama, poems, prose, kind of like stories and grammar. A lot of them evolved and it was kind of nice. Nice time for Sanskrit. Okay, who's this? Kumaragupta and Skandagupta, continuing the Gupta legacy. Kumaragupta, the second son of Chandragupta II, succeeded him on the imperial throne in 415 CE. He ruled for nearly 40 years. Kumaragupta did not have to take on any major conquest, but he had to maintain the vast empire. This testifies to his exemplary administrative system that was in place. He had a well-maintained army, ever prepared to meet any threat that could emerge. So Kumaragupta is actually the second son of Chandragupta II. He had a lot of sons. Of them, Kumaragupta was the second son, and he became the king in 415 CE. So he ruled for 4 decades, or in other words, 40 years. And he did not take on any military conquest because his dad, his grandfather, and his great grandfather already completed all the military conquest. The entirety of Bharat was under their command. So he had to maintain this empire. Now, an empire is kind of like a machine, it must be maintained. So, yeah, had to maintain it after segregating it. So, yeah, he had a good maintained army that is always constantly training and is always ready for any threat. The famous rust-free wonder, the Iron Pillar of Delhi, is 1600 years old. 1600 years old. It is 7.6 7.67 meters tall and is made of 6 tons of wrought iron. It was originally erected at Udayagiri near Sanchi by Chandragupta II. Imagine the skill and knowledge of the blacksmiths of ancient Bharat. So yeah, this is the iron pillar of Delhi. It's actually 10,600 years old and is 7 meters tall. To put that in perspective, one floor of a house is a meter tall. This is 7 meters. I mean, 3 meters is actually one floor. So this is basically two floor. This is as big as a two-story house. And it was made in Udayagiri near Sanchi. Chandragupta II did it, and it's still without rust despite being here for about 1600 years. It has no rust on it, and it's made of pure iron. Nothing mixed in it to like prevent it becoming rusting. Decimating the Huns. Decimating means kind of like deleting them. So decimating means like killing all of them without a trace, leave no evidence kind of thing. The Huns were barbaric, beast-like warring tribes who slaughtered all men, women and children. They came across and ransacked their cities and villages. Even the most powerful and civilized empires of Asia and Europe feared the Huns. After ruining the empires in China, Russia and Rome, they entered Bharat. Okay, so the Huns are basically a bunch of barbaric people. The tribal people who killed men, women and children. They showed no mercy at all. So they came across any village, they killed everybody in it. They didn't ask for money and all. And ransacked, kind of like stole everything. Money, food, gems, silverware, gold, anything that's there, they took it away. Cities and villages, same. So powerful and civilized empires like the Chinese, the Russians and the Roman people. Actually, the Roman Empire was kind of a powerful empire. They didn't come to India unlike the Greeks, but they still were decimated by the Huns. Even the Europeans, the British people, all of them feared Bharat. I mean, feared Huns, not Bharat. So the Huns, they decimated Chinese, Russians and Romans, and then they entered Bharat. Fortunately, Bharat was under the rule of Kumaragupta. Knowing well that the Huns would land in Bharat, Kumaragupta's army was fully prepared for defending the frontiers. When the emperor came to know about the destruction of Gandhara by the Huns, he sent his army under the command of his son, Skandagupta. Even though he was crown prince, he led the massive army against the enemy. Hordes of Huns arrived at the borders. When one group of attackers were destroyed, numerous groups emerged like a swarm of bees. Skandagupta's army had to fight this long battle repeatedly, but never once did he lose strength or vigor. As a result of fierce fighting, the Huns diminished in strength and fled Bharat's soil, never to return for the next 40 years. They could not defend the territories that they had earlier occupied. King Kumaragupta performed the Ashwamedha Yagna to celebrate this decisive victory over the Huns and attained the title Mahendrayadita. So yeah, the Bharat was under the rule of Kumaragupta, son of Chandragupta II, and he knew the Huns would come, so they defended under Skandagupta, the crown prince, and this long war led to the destruction of the Huns. They left and never came back for the next 40 years. They had previously occupied territories, they could not save that, and so King Kumaragupta did the Ashwamedha Yagna to celebrate this victory and took the title Mahendrayadha. Now the Ashwamedha Yagna is actually explained in the first part, so go check that out. So that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more.